fact, it's who they are, who they say they are. So we have several resources. We have contact with the consulates. The papers or documents that they present, we submit it to them to make sure they're legal. A lot of them are fake. So the whole purpose of bringing a child is, like we know, is like it's like their ticket, you know.
Passport.
Their passport.
Their passport.
Yeah.
Do you do some DNA matching sometimes?
No, unfortunately we don't do, but we try to match the documents as best as we can. And if we cannot determine that they're related to that person, like they say, and we can see it in cases where, you know, the children are timid with the people that they claim to be their parents, and they don't act like they're really a family. So that's when we start thinking, you know, they're not related. So they get separated. And that's where people get so upset, you know, because we're separating families and all that. But we separated only the ones that we're not sure that they're in fact related. And unfortunately, some of these kids end up in homes waiting for someone to be, waiting for us to find someone who's related to them, either here in the United States or back in their country. So it's not like we just grab people and, oh no, you go here, you go there.
So it's just based off of your own hunch or your own
Our investigations, yes, yes. And most of them, like I say, some of them, they do have, you know, they match the documents, they do are related, so they get to go home. You know? And that's the reason they're coming with children, because they feel like if they come with children, they're not gonna get incarcerated and sent back home. So, and what's happening right now, yes, ma'am.
Are you seeing a higher percentage of males with a single child than you used to?
No. A majority are women with children. Yes.
Is there a reason that we can't charge the adult with child endangerment for bringing them across and putting them in the harm they are?
That's the reason we show these videos to the local authorities, because yes,
Okay.
if they, for example,
I would think any of them bringing a child across there
course
in
not,
these
no.
ways should be child endangerment.
yeah, I know once they cross, I know they charge them like the smugglers that they put them in vehicles and they speed away from
Yeah.
the border. They get charged for it with endangerment of whoever they have in the vehicles. But yes, if a person, for example, has a criminal record or prior history of being apprehended, and he goes through the process of criminal prosecution, they can charge him with that also.
Well, I feel like everybody who comes across claiming to be a parent with a child
Right.
should be taken for child endangerment.
Yes.
He's considered
You think, right, the dangers that they go through on their trip from wherever they come from,
What kind of parent would do that?
Yes. So, I want to share a personal experience when I was out there in the field. Back then, it wasn't like this. Back then, it was actually a real border patrol job, like I call it, you know, where they try to hide from us, and we try to find them using our flashlights.
none
And
of this, please come get me stuff.
exactly. And we actually had to chase them. And I remember one night, I came across a family, and I hear a child crying. So I go and I find this little girl behind, you know, hunching under a brush there, and she was crying for her mom. So I put my flashlight on her and I said, wow, she was like 6 years old, you know, and I at that time I had a daughter who was about her age, and I just thought about it. I just don't see my daughter going through this, you know. How can they put their children through this? And believe it or not, I apprehended that family 3 times on 2 days. And the last time I apprehended the parents, I asked them, where's the girl? They had left it behind in the hands of a smuggler, because it was being kind of like, they were having problems crossing with the children. So they decided to cross on their own and then leave the children to a smuggler so they can cross them. It was like, oh my goodness, I just couldn't believe that they did that. But nowadays it's a different story. It's, yes sir, I'm sorry.
I just have a question. Are the higher-ups within the Border Patrol kind of paying attention to these talking points about, families being separated, so forth and so on? I mean, do they really worry about public perception like that? I mean, I work in the Department of Corrections, And believe me, every day I see people that are separated from their families for, committing crimes.
Right.
Some probably less intrusive than what these people are doing. And we have, 300 and some thousand active service members that are overseas, at any given time, away from their
families, right?
People that work on oil rigs are separated from their families. And I remember years ago, Sheriff Arpaio in Maricopa was ridiculed for putting inmates in tents.
Yeah.
And his reply was, well, if it's good enough for our soldiers, it's good enough for them.
These people.
And has the Border Patrol upper echelon ever considered approaching these public comments and the media portraying them as heartless?
Well, we hear them all the time, but we know that in fact we're not doing what they saying that we're doing, like with separating families just because we want to disrupt them coming across. The reason we do it is because we can either not determine that in fact they're families. We know there's a criminal aspect behind all this. There's like human trafficking, child trafficking. So when we determine that in fact these people are not related to each other, that's when we separate them. Not because we have a program that we want to use it as to disrupt them from coming.
But you can't put children in an adult.
And that's the reason, we cannot.
You don't put children with their parents in the state penitentiary.
No. And that's the reason they bring their child with them.
I don't hear anybody explaining that to the public, though.
Exactly, and that's why the majority of people have a misperception of what's actually family separation means. Yes, sir.
President Trump, a couple of weeks ago, said he was going to close the border down unless there was better control down there from Mexico. Now, has Mexico truly responded to that threat or not? Can you see any difference 2 weeks ago from now?
No. To my experience, I'm not just talking to what I see. I haven't read anything official, but what we hear and we haven't seen any effect to that. I personally worked before I did this job. My prior assignment was it was called the Mexican Liason Unit. So I used to go down to Mexico and speak to Mexican government officials to ask them for their support, But we were just from the feet out, like
Without the mordida, there's nothing, right?
It's a big business. Believe it or not, I didn't want to get it there, but it's all about money here. I saw reports down in Mexico. We actually had some reliable sources. They provided us with information that they had as far as who got paid what and all that. And the people that had the most corrupt group in Mexico was the immigration office.
Yeah.
You wonder why, right? So they're the most corrupt. In fact, they were the most corrupt office, government office. And then the second ones were the Policía Federales. So, if they encounter them on their way here, the first thing they're gonna ask, where's your documents, right? And they don't have any documents, what is their next? So all right, this is my document,
$100 bill.
100.
You want to buy some?
Exactly. And unfortunately, that's what's happening. And I was told personally by people down there that it's something so, it's like, it would be so difficult for somebody down there to try to actually enforce the law. Especially if it's related to immigration, because they know they're coming north. It's not going to be a burden to the country. They know once they reach the border, they're going to jump, and it's not their problem anymore. Yes, ma'am.
So how do you know that the documents that they're giving you are legit, for one, and two, just nosing around the border a little bit, found a lot of children's medication packages, like drowsy medications, like Benadryls, Dramamines, Robitussin, and do we know if children are being medicated before they're turning themselves over to you?
As far as being medicated, no, we don't, they don't come with anything. Basically, they don't have any medicine or anything. Their documents, it's very easy to get documents in Mexico. And in the past, they were using like fake Mexican documents when they were actually being returned to their country for the reason that, if they presented a Mexican document, they were gonna send back to Mexico. So they were not gonna send all the way back to Guatemala or Salvador or Honduras. But then we unfortunately, our immigration system changed again, so they began to keep the people here. So instead of sending them back, they were staying here, and that's when the wave of people started to come.
Yeah.
And this was way before Donald Trump. This is not Donald Trump's idea. This was way before him. So, and there's this thing about family separation. It didn't start with the current president. It's been going on since I've been in the control. It's just been more exposed, yes, for political points or something, or whatever. But yes, to answer your question, we haven't found any cases where they're overly medicated or things like that. Their documents, we know from an intelligence office that most of them are fake. Because in Mexico, I don't know if you know, in Mexico you can go to a machine and you can type in any number. If you know somebody's information, type the number, and then they have there's a number, like a social security number for us, like a personal identification number. So if you type that in that machine, you pay 70 pesos, and it produces a birth certificate. Like, seriously. It produces a birth certificate. So when you start seeing people from the same city, from the same zip code, with the same signature, I say, how can they all be born in the same place, right? So you know they were getting these certificates from the same place. And it's not difficult to get that. And sometimes they were duplicates. So, but, yes.
Maybe this question was asked, but in terms of your sector here, where are the most vulnerable places, easiest places for them to cross family unit-wise?
In the river, on the river.
In the river, okay. Then if it's the river, how about night versus day? Is there a difference?
With these groups, it doesn't matter if it's day or night. The I don't know, you caught it on the video. These zones are controlled by the criminal organizations. There are organizations down in Mexico that they still want to cross drugs and illegal aliens. So they're controlled. So it's not a fact of day or night. It's just when they can, I guess. Let's say if a group from San Luis wants to cross through the river, he has to pay the right to cross to the river. So that's the way it works. Yes.
If you receive gunfire from the Mexican side, are you allowed to return fire?
No.
No.
Unless we feel like if they're in the U.S. side and it possesses a threat to us, yes. But if they're
on the U.S. side?
Yes, if they're on the U.S. side, yes. If they're in Mexico and we don't see where they're at, we cannot just shoot at somebody at random.
But if you can see them
If we can see
shooting at
them,
you,
yeah, you probably, yes. I'll be justified to shoot them back. Yes, sir.
Several years back, I had heard that the community of Yuma was sympathetic to the illegal immigration issue. In other words, they sympathized with the crossers and the workers coming over and so forth, and that Yuma was sort of like sanctuary area in general. And that was several years back. Now with this has the mood changed, or was I wrong in my earlier assessment? What is the community of Yuma's feelings on this crisis that we have in their backyard?
No, nowadays the community is very supportive of our operations here. I can feel confident of going around the city without hiding myself from being a Border Patrol agent like in other cities where they have to wear a jacket or cover shirt or something. You don't want to be seen where you pull up your vehicle in your driveway because they're going to go puncture your tires or break your windows and things like that. No, here in Yuma, they're very supportive. Since I've been here, I got here in 2005. I started my career in San Diego, which was totally different. We used to have demonstrations there almost every weekend at the border with, people against Border Patrol operations. And we used to cover shirts after work, try to keep our identity, so they don't see who we wear. But here in Yuma, I feel like we're very supportive of us. I'm sorry.
Does any of your sector in the Tohono O'odham reservation area?
No, that's covered by Tucson sector.
Tucson sector? Okay.
Yes.
The return to Mexico policy, so when does that start?
I think it's already in effect.
So as soon as you catch them, like if you caught them today, you
No.
can send it back?
I thought you were talking about the cancellation of that.
No,
Because it was canceled.
but wasn't it just
Yeah.
reinstated?
They restated?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't
It
aware.
got reinstated.
Yesterday,
Friday.
Yeah, okay, I was off yesterday, so my phone was disconnected.
Things are moving quickly.
And they move quickly, yeah. That's another thing, it's like, how can legally we can accomplish something if they're always finding something to block it, it's like,
I don't know how you guys keep any morale with the garbage going on.
actually, it's very low.
It would be for me, I can tell you.
Yes, sir.
So the MPP program, which is kind of maybe what we're referring to, the Migrant Protection
Protection
Program.
program, yes.
It was rolled out in San Ysidro, and then the question I always had is that, well, okay, you tested it there for a while, probably too long, but you didn't institute the policy, and when DHS Secretary came here to Yuma, it was really kind of, not surprising to me, she's gone now, but she never toured anything. She seemed to be more concerned with the migrants' welfare, the kids, than with what you guys are having to deal with on the river.
Actually, the secretary was here 3 times.
Yeah, well, 3 times.
Yes, 3 times. Actually, and the last week was the last time. And I think the next day that she was here, that's when she
got fired.
But what did
and she resigned.
what did she really do?
Actually, she tore the border. She saw exactly what's the infrastructure, and she held meetings with local law enforcement and government officials. I wasn't in any of those meetings, so I don't know exactly what they discussed. But yeah, as far as I know, she even gave live news interviews right at the border. So I don't know. I think she was just frustrated of the fact that it doesn't matter what she said or we try to implement, it didn't get any traction. Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions. Back to Vince's point earlier where President Trump has said he would close down the border. People really don't understand what that means. It's not closing the border, it's closing the ports of entry, correct?
Correct.
So with what's going on now, what you're explaining, the problems in this sector, would closing the port of entry do anything for what's going on here right now?
No, it would just create chaos, I think. Because, like I was telling you, there's 2 types of operations as far as I can tell you, border patrol, border security operations. One is like we protect the border, we prevent the, terrorists and terrorist weapons from coming across our country. That's our main objective at the border. Right now, the phenomenon that we're seeing, it doesn't matter if we have a 30-foot wall or close the ports of entry, as long as there's a gap or a river where they can crawl under or cross through, they're not gonna stop coming. So that's the problem we're having right now. It's a different thing.
So, are you saying that the border wall is not effective?
No, it is effective as far as controlling where they're gonna enter.
Where it is.
Yes, that's where it is.
Well, if they can take it down to a
What's
funnel.
happening right now, it doesn't matter if it's not like, if we don't have a 100% sealed border,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be.
If they can get through and find one of you guys.
If there's one hole in it, or if there's some ditch underneath, they're gonna find it and they're gonna cross through it. They're gonna exploit it. You saw how they were jumping over the fences, and we see that all the time. Every day they do the same thing.
My frustration was it seems like all the fence they were building back in the open borders days of Bush and Clinton and everybody was stuff you could climb up. It was a beam, and they could climb it too easy.
Crawl underneath.
Yeah, they brag like, oh, they're
Yeah.
climbing over. That's the problem with the fence. Well, you build the fence right, and they can't climb it. So
Yes, sir.
when you detain a few or something, and you're at a point where you have to release them, how do you determine where you're gonna release them?
Good question. I want to explain you the process from the moment we catch someone, and to probably give you an idea of the process that an illegal alien goes through. So we can only hold them in our cells for 72 hours, 3 days max. So we have to get them out of there because we're not a detention facility. We are just an administrative, center where we catch them, we process them, we determine where they're gonna go, and then we send them out to the respective areas. So when we catch them, we don't know who they are, we don't know how many times they were apprehended, we don't know if they're criminals or the first time they cross. So we have a form that we fill out in the field, we take their name, the date of birth, citizens of whatever country, and then we put some, like where they cross, time, and date. And then we read them their rights, because that's very important. We gotta read them their rights. Believe it or not, if we don't read them their rights, if they get processed for criminal prosecution, they don't.
So they get the same
Yes.
courtesy that a citizen would, huh?
Yes, yes.
I don't know if that's right.
And then if we hold them at the station,
No.
if we hold them at the station over 72 hours, we have to read them their rights again. So we have
I
to.
thought it was 20 days or something.
I'm sorry?
I thought it was 20 days.
No, that's just our station. 3 days. We can only hold them for 3 days.
Well, you read them the rights, you do it in Spanish.
We do it in Spanish, yes.
But you're saying this is just for your facility here, you're not saying
For
this
our
is the
facility.
overall
Right.
policy, this is just what you.
No, that's
personally
overall
do?
policy as far as detention facilities, Border Patrol stations. We're not a detention
Border
facility.
Patrol
Border Patrol
stations.
stations, yes.
Okay.
We're not detention facilities. We don't have the facilities to provide them with showers, hot meals, or anything like that. So they had to be out of there in 72 hours. So we process them. We bring them to the station. You saw how crowded they are right now. So the agent's over there on the computer, writing everything on the computer, taking fingerprints, and that's when we gonna find out who these people are with the fingerprints. So everybody has to be fingerprinted, except children under 14 years old. So everybody over 14 years old get fingerprinted. So if their record shows clean and everything, it's quick. We do a case real quick. We put them on a holding facility, and they're ready to go to the enforcement and removal office, which is Phoenix, or we have facilities in Phoenix, Eloy, Florence. So they can go to either of those places, but they're overcrowded right now. So what's happening right now? They're getting another form. It's like a promise to return to court. The promise to appear in court. What's happening right now? So we give them that, and who knows when they're gonna get a date to present themselves to the immigration hearing to determine their status and they can remain in the United States. Yes, sir.
When you fingerprint them, do you also take DNA?
I'm sorry. Take what?
Do you
DNA.
DNA also?
No, no DNA.
And the ones you release, ankle bracelets, or no more?
Not all of them.
Not all of them. Right now in Yuma, it's recently they're being released on the streets, and the city of Yuma was like they were pretty much trying to find them where to place them. I heard that they were even staying in hotels.
Phoenix, who's paying for that?
You are. Who do you think?
That's a good question.
I want to know, how do you get the ankle bracelet contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any discussion about possibly using a chip on these individuals?
No, not that I heard. It's the bracelet.
If you think family separation started
I don't know if I
up, try
have that
that.
video. Let me see if I have that video. The Border Patrol did an operation.
Yeah, they're dumping them in the streets of Phoenix too.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Anti-American league?
Yeah.
I have a simple question for you on the river.
Uh,
Do you know plans to do anything barrier-wise along in there, or is it just
And the river?
status
Yes.
quo?
Yes. And that's what the reason I think the whole border tour started with Mr. Mann.
And what are the
It's,
plans?
like I say, I'll be honest with you. As long as there's a gap in the fence, it doesn't matter how tall or how long you build them. The problem with the immigrants from other than Mexicans is gonna continue if we don't fix our immigration laws.
Could you say that again? Could you say that again?
I don't think we can wait 2 years.
That's kind of as long as it doesn't matter if you build a high fence or how long you build it, if there's a gap in it or something to crawl under it, with what we're seeing right now, the problem is not gonna stop.
But you said OTMs.
OTNs, other than Mexican.
So are you talking, in that statement, are you talking about the people from Honduras and Guatemala?
Yes.
And you're not talking about people that are coming across from Mexico in that
Well,
statement?
they're coming across from Mexico because they're crossing through Mexico.
But in what-
But
in
if
that
they're
statement-
from Mexico, they don't have the same benefit as them people.
you s-
I mean, everybody that crosses illegally into the United States, if they claim asylum, they're gonna be interviewed, their cases, they're gonna have a case. Doesn't matter from which country they are. Right now, the immigration benefit that the people other than Mexican are taking advantages is that they're being released to either a family, a relative, or out in the street on their own.
That's
Too hard to send them all the way back through
Because,
Mexico
yes.
and take their country.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
With the promise that all those people are, on a later date, are gonna come and appear in front of an immigration judge to determine their status. Because they all have applied for asylum.
I think those buses would run 2 ways.
But you mentioned OTMs, will they do the same thing for if they're from Mexico?
Yes, if they come here and they claim credible fear and they claim asylum, yes, they go through the case, they go through the process. But, right now it's,
What we've heard is about 10% show up. What do you know of that?
10% show up of,
For court.
For their hearing after the fact, release them and then 10% actually show up.
that's a good question, because I don't have the numbers as far as how many of them get approved, and that's probably what you asking, right?
Yeah.
Has the military been of any real assistance to you, or
Yes.
is it just
Yes.
window dressing?
No, it's actually, as far as a logistical aspect of it, yes. Because
You'd have
What's
to be
happening-
nursemaids by yourself.
this problem is pulling agents from the field, I'm lucky to be here, because I should be out there helping them. But the chief wants this information to go out, so this is one of the programs that he feels like is important to keep. So,
Well, right now, there are thousands of people watching this right at this moment, so it's getting out there.
I suspected that.
This group here, needless to say, is pro-legal immigration. The other side is pro-illegal immigration. How many of these presentations do you have to do for a group that's on the opposite side of what our beliefs are? Are they asking to talk to you? and
No,
do this
actually,
type of
no,
presentation?
that's,
They don't want the truth.
they don't want to hear the truth. And I've been in groups where there's one or two, and they always have their questions, but we try to avoid getting any type of confrontations, we respect their opinion, we respect, but we don't get in an argument with them. Yes, ma'am.
What can we do to help you do your job more effectively?
Doing things like this, talking to people, telling them what you just learning today. And when you hear in the news something that you say, no, that's not true, and you know the fact, tell them what the facts are.
You're not telling us anything we didn't already know, to be honest.
And we've been kicking it for a
We've been-
while.
Because you're
confirming what
we're
we thought.
interested in this.
Yeah.
I have a neighbor where we talk about it all the time. He talks about the president, the border patrol, and then when then I confront him with facts, with things about he blocks his head.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, it's gotta be frustrating.
It's frustrating.
You're on the ground, I mean,
When they
geez.
start cussing at you, you know you've already won the argument.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that's a lot of people. They don't want to accept the facts,
Now, Oscar, when you take us in these vans, do you offer return service back to the hotel? I'm just kidding.
We had one man,
Or are we processed and sent back?
Round trip service.
if I had enough transportation, yes, I would.
No, so what you want us to do is follow you down there, and then you'll load us up in the vans in
Yeah,
order to get a close look at
We will
what's
station
going
a
on.
common area there, probably that place.
Okay.
I don't know if you made it all the way last time you were here.
No,
Pizza Hut in San Luis?
no, we couldn't find anything.
No, we went down to the Pizza Hut area.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
There's
didn't see it.
a parking lot, so they probably we can stage there and then
Oh, okay.
again, from there we can go and what is less than 30 here, I think, right? Something like that.
Coming up at 3, can I go on
So
the
we
first
can do
batch?
that. So yeah, once they get released from our station, they get turned over to the ICRO, and then from there
Because I wanna
they
be
try
back
to
here
find
that
them space where to place
like
them, and
mirror.
if they don't have a space, they get released. So that's what's happening right now.
So is it true that, that you guys are giving pregnancy tests to the children under 14?
Yes.
And why are we not fingerprinting them? I think that would solve
So
such,
everybody's being fingerprinted,
Except the
except
children.
the minors. Yeah.
why are we not fingerprinting the children?
It's against the policies. I mean, we have established policies where actually it's.
It'd be nice for you guys to be able to say, well, this particular child has had 17 different parents in the last month.
Right.
Yeah, they're
You know?
minors, so they get
Questions
treated
about
as
an
minors.
adult present,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
It's all legal things.
But we're giving them pregnancy tests.
Yeah, because that's a medical,
To me, that seems a little more,
it's a medical issue. Yeah.
And
So I'm gonna show you. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, do what you're gonna do.
For the tour that we're gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
I have some questions to ask you about
Did you
that.
show the wall?
Yes, I'm gonna show you just what we have right now, so you get an idea what we're gonna see.
This is great.
By the way, while we have a lull in the action, how many people are staying overnight over here, and how many are joining us for dinner tonight at 6 o'clock at Lutz Casino? Keep your hands up, please. Okay, because I got to give a count. 1, and that guy 2, right? That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whether you're going to Lutz Casino with us tonight.
Jim?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Don't hold up 2 hands. 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay.
25. Kelly and her daughter are coming up too.
Put another person in.
Okay.
26. That's a pretty big crew.
Well, well, then they're SOL.
It's that simple.